If I'm going to look towards a group where I'm not looking for lyrics, but I want to hear talent and I want to hear dope beats, I'm listening to Run the Jewels. So even in doing this week's podcast, I didn't politically, like, they do touch on a couple things, but for me speaking, I didn't go into this album hearing a whole lot of it. It was still like their last three albums. I'm like, yeah, I'm listening to this to kind of, hear music. And that's mostly what I heard with this one. But I still really liked it. This one might be, if not my first, it's probably my second favorite.
Yeah.
I can't remember which. I think the second one's my favorite.
This is definitely my favorite Run the Jewels album. To me, it's very focused. All the songs fit together really nicely. It's not too long. All the features are great. I definitely get a sense of a loose concept around the album. I like all the other Run the Jewels albums. They're great, but none of them really grabbed my attention where I wanted to replay them all the time. It's like I will listen to them 2 or 3 times and then I'm kind of done.
I'm listening to them at the gym and, when people are over. I think those are the best times to hear them.
Yeah, I don't know why they just never grabbed me in that way where I was, blown away by them. I was just like, yeah, this is great, but I'm not standing this in any way like a lot of other people are.
I mean, maybe I'm being literal, but I'm kind of going off of, being blown away. I was like, yeah, I can't really say that I've been blown away by their content, but at the same time, like from front to back, I love their albums because if I'm just looking for entertainment, I don't have to. There's not a whole lot of songs I'm skipping over. Have you heard Meow the Jewels?
Yes.
What did you think of that?
I thought it was hilarious. I think it's dope. I love cats, so.
It's fucking weird, dude.
But yeah, first and foremost, I'm an LP fan. Killer Mike obviously is amazing, and the way he raps is extremely powerful. And when he raps about something, you listen to it, and you can understand every single word he's saying. He's very talented in that way.
I agree with that. And as we go through this podcast, I'll just say it now that I personally feel that a lot of what LP says goes over my head, and I'm that's the thing is, like, I'm not sure. Like, I'm not sure why. When we talked about Shabazz Palaces, I said that their stuff went over my head because their lyrics are very poetic and abstract to where you really have to decipher what they're saying. LP, on the other hand, for me, I feel like he has a knack of throwing a bunch of words together to make a rhyme and to make it sound like, man, that dude just dropped a bunch of bars. Like, he rhymed his ass off. That's what I get out of LP. Do I still like him? Yeah, he's still great. But his lyrics don't settle with me.
It's a very different style than Killer Mike, which is why it is a dope group, because they contrast each other in so many ways.
Yeah, and it just had me thinking, I think this pod will be cool because like you said, when Killer Mike talks, I'm understanding everything that he's saying, and I'm like right there with him. LP loses me a little bit, and I feel when I listen to their music, I'm like, okay, LP is kind of I don't want to say filler, but like he's just kind of there doing his thing. But if I'm looking for what the song's talking about, I'm listening to Killer Mike. If I want to understand where LP's coming from, I can listen to his lyrics a few times or read the lyrics. But Killer Mike is very to the point, and and I've said that over a few times. Like, I like that in my music. If you're going to be a bunch of rhymes and everything, at least be straight to the point.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's get into it. The first track is Yankee and the Brave, episode 4. So right off the bat, just reading the title, it kind of sets you up for the concept of the album, of it being a TV show, like an action TV show. And the main characters are Killer Mike and LP, the Yankee and the Brave. Yankee being LP because he's from New York. Brave being Killer Mike because he's from Detroit. From Atlanta, the Atlanta Braves. That's the name of their characters. And it also kind of plays on Pinky and the Brain, the cartoon.
That's funny.
And their goal to dominate the world.
What's cool is it ends on this note too.
Right.
Like as you said, this is kind of a looser concept album. Like everything just kind of flies around and it's here and there, but they do touch on a couple things throughout tracks. And this is one of those where it's static and it starts here and it ends on this note.
So the first track, it's your quintessential hard hitting, in your face intro track. It's loud. The drums are in your face, and they're just spitting on this. I loved Killer Mike's verses. I thought he went in.
I just put down, they're hip hopping in this one.
Yeah.
And it's weird because some of their tracks, they start off like the first verse could be random. And then once it gets to the second verse, it starts going into a story that then they finish. So I thought that was really interesting. So the first one, like they're just talking, whatever else, they're dropping bars. But then the second one, Killer Mike almost opens up and is saying like, hey, it's me versus the cops that are outside. I got a bullet left. I could save it for I could shoot one of them, or I could save it for myself, but it won't be suicide. And it kind of reminds me of today's climate, but then not, but just like the me against the world kind of thing.